back to the Grow with Cara show. Today we continue our interview series with successful attorney marketers. We're taking a close look at what's working, what's not working so well, the specific steps these attorneys took to get to where they are. And remember, these are simple steps that you too can follow to get on a similar path to growth. Okay, diving right in, today our special guest is attorney Clay Payne. Clay is a personal injury attorney in Texas. He's recovered millions of dollars for his clients. We're excited to have him here today. Welcome, Clay. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Clay, to begin, tell us a little bit about your story. Why did you decide to become a lawyer?
I was inspired a lot by my parents. Both my parents were actually personal injury attorneys in Texas throughout the 90s until Texas had basically what's called tort reform. And that hurt a lot of personal injury attorneys, and they kind of got out of the business. But yeah, that was my inspiration. My parents, as well as my grandfather, all kind of attorneys. And I've always just loved, being in the courtroom and anything about, law and all that.
It runs in the family.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So what type of injury cases are you typically handling now?
So we do the gambit, just anything from motor vehicle accidents, dog bites, catastrophic injury cases, pretty much anything. We don't do much medical malpractice just because Texas, where I practice, it's watered down a lot. There's certain firms that do it. We don't do workers' comp or anything like that, but any motor vehicle accidents, dog bites, wrongful death, those type of cases.
About how many open case files do you currently have?
Me personally, I don't know the exact number, but north of 100 easily. Those cases are all in litigation. We also have a pre-lit department as well in our firm, and I oversee those cases as well.
So earlier you were telling me that you think about half of those pre-lit cases are now coming through social media. Is that right? Is that accurate?
Yeah, no, that's accurate. So about in April, I really geared, April of this year, I think I posted my first video on Instagram. And before that, I was doing TikTok, but Instagram just added fuel to the fire. And I would say about half of our new intakes are through social media. The other half being client referrals or friends, family, stuff like that. But I would say about 50% of our new intakes are social media.
Well, I didn't realize that you just started on social media this year. That's pretty impressive. I really want to dive into your pretty explosive growth on social. So, you're at The Payne Lawyer on Instagram and TikTok. On Instagram, you have 181,000 followers. You're just as popular on TikTok. You get thousands of likes on your videos, tens of thousands of views. So tell us, let's talk about, how you did get started on social media. Why did you initially begin? Why did you think it would be worth your time?
Yeah, well, in this field, it's very, very competitive as far as getting in front of eyeballs. Billboards cost, thousands and thousands of dollars, monthly, which is the go-to for a lot of personal injury attorneys. And I'm fairly new in the field. I've been licensed, 3 or 4 years. So in addition to that, the way that our firm is structured, it's a litigation firm. We get a lot of attorney referrals. So what I'm getting at is I didn't want to spend a lot of money on getting clients. And I'm sure that that's what everyone wants is they want to market, but they don't want to, they want to market for the cheapest dollar. And so organic social media is obviously the cheapest because it's free. You don't pay anything, it's organic. And I saw a lot of other attorneys, doing it and was inspired by those attorneys. And so I just jumped on it. And it's just taken off.
Let's get into the nuts and bolts a little bit. How are you coming up with your video topic ideas? Because you're really talking about outside everyday law topics is what I would call it, right? So, outside of just personal injury issues, you're really talking about a lot of kind of legal issues. How are you coming up with your topics, and what's performing best for you?
Sure. So the personal injury stuff does not perform as well as other areas of law. And that's because personal injury is a reactive market. In other words, you don't wake up in the morning thinking, oh, I'm going to go get injured on the job, or, I'm going to get into a car accident. But people generally are, they want to know what their rights are. They want to know what to do when they get pulled over by the police, or what should they do if they get a traffic ticket, or what should I do if I'm having a dispute regarding the property, at the apartment complex, or whatnot. And so those topics perform a lot better and achieve virality. In other words, they allow you to get in front of a bunch of viewers and get a bunch of followers. And so I've varied my topics to allow for that to happen. And it's almost strategic. In other words, I know for a fact that at the end of the day, I want people to hire me as a personal injury attorney, not a criminal defense attorney. But at the same time, I need to put out content that attracts, the masses. So they see that content, come follow my page. And then after they follow my page, then essentially they'll be seeing all my content, including the personal injury content, and then they'll hopefully hire me.
Some attorneys that I've talked to about posting sort of outside of their areas of practice, they're hesitant to do that. They don't want to be attracting cases that are outside of the areas that they're practicing. What do you say to that? Why? How did you kind of figure out that you that's the way to really grow the follower base, and then you're serving up the personal injury content? Is that right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And maybe I didn't answer your last question with respect to how I come up with the ideas, but I usually sit down and come up with ideas weekly. And a lot of times it's friends or my wife or someone who's like, hey, you should do a video topic on this, or do a video topic. I mean, I try to come up with 7 ideas a week. I shoot them all on one day. And so on Sunday, I'm doing my video content. I'm shooting all the videos. But in any case, jumping back to the question you just asked me about, what do I say to the people that are like, hey, you shouldn't be varied? And I think that you do need to establish a brand identity, but your brand identity does not have to be in a niche, field. In other words, when people seek an attorney, people are looking for guidance, they're looking for counsel. But I don't think it hurts to be able to provide information to people just generally. And then when they do have an auto accident or a slip and fall or whatever type of they're going to look at you because they look at you every single day for their legal knowledge. I mean, it's impossible to not think about you when they're scrolling through their Instagram and they see you every single day with a suit and tie talking about, their rights, as far as the law.
Yeah, you're their trusted legal advisor, right?
Absolutely.
So you mentioned you're batch recording the videos once a week. Sounds like you're posting one a day at least. How much time do you think you're spending weekly creating content? Do you have any help? Are you doing it all yourself?
So my wife is actually the one that records my videos, and we do it on an iPhone 13. I just bought a video camera recently, but for the first, I guess up until about a month ago, I was shooting this on an iPhone 13. So you don't need a big tech for this, but it does take time. I mean, the video ideas take time. In addition to that, we spend about maybe an hour or two shooting them on a Sunday, and that's the 7 videos. And then I send them off to a video editor, and that video editor will put the subtitles and everything, for me.
Are you using stories and grid posts? How are you varying that content? Is the same content you're posting on the grid as it is the stories? What's your approach there? I've started just putting some messages on stories like, hey, if you need some help, reach out to me, or
those type of messages just through in the create mode on stories. My Instagram posts are just my informational videos, but I don't use stories really to repost the video content, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So are you spending any money? Are you are you boosting top performing posts? Are you using social advertising at all to increase exposure?
So I've looked into that. Currently, I'm not spending any money. So there's zero ad spend, and with that, it's been very successful. I will tell you that with social media, there's no geographic limit to where you get these cases from. And so I have 181,000 followers on Instagram. However, maybe only 5% of those might be in Texas. I don't know the exact stats. It doesn't let me see that. And so so anyways, what I'm getting at is when you have ad spend, when you spend money, you can target basically your videos going to a certain area. And you can, in other words, rather than having 181,000 or 100,000 views throughout the United States, you have 100,000 views in your city. But it's it's costly. I don't know the exact cost because I haven't really, done the numbers. But with what I have going now and the cases that we're receiving, it's not worth it, for me at this point.
So you've grown to 180 plus thousand without spending any money. You haven't even boosted posts, or it's all viral.
Yeah, this is all virality. Now I will say I played around with the boost feature, but very, very de minimis. And so this is all organic growth, all through virality, and just putting out the right topics and the right video content to bring me those followers. And I will say that even though I get cases, we get intakes, obviously in Texas cases, but I also have referral partners that I work with throughout the United States. A lot of them actually have been on this show, and I'm, being able to find people that, try cases in, the North Carolina and South Carolina and Pennsylvania. And so, having that network of attorneys to send cases to, and then hopefully in return, they'll send me their Texas cases.
I was going to ask you about building your network of referral sources through social media. It sounds like you're also doing that as well.
Right. So, no, absolutely. And I feel like there's some camaraderie between people that are doing the social media. I think it's kind of the new age, the new marketing platform that a lot of attorneys are hesitant to jump on, but I encourage them to do so. But once you get part of that club, then you have, a network of attorneys who, you can refer cases to, and then likewise, they'll refer cases to you if they get cases in your state, because like I said, there's no geographic limit to the organic reach. It's all throughout the United States and even other countries.
Yeah, and you're really sort of leveling the playing field, with those billboard advertisers and the major spenders in your market with social media as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I had actually signed up 2 18-wheeler cases last month. And if you would have told me 6 months ago that I would have signed up an 18-wheeler case through social media, organic marketing, I would have told you you're crazy.
That's pretty cool. That's really, really impressive. Was there a turning point, Clay, where at some point, you were posting, at some point things really started to take off? Is it when you started posting more consistently, or, kind of digging into different types of topics?
Yeah, so when I first started on TikTok, I tried different types of video formats, and I flopped horribly for like 3 or 4 months, just trying different video content ideas. And you can still, if you go back to my TikTok page and scroll down to the very bottom, it's very cringe. I never deleted the videos, but even looking back myself, I'm like, wow, how cringe is that? Yeah, so I definitely went through some different types of video formats. I found that the educational videos are the best performing video formats, and you really have to frame your videos in such a way to grab people's attention early on. I'm sure people have heard about getting having the hook, but you need to have the hook that grabs people's attention. You need to have you need to have some sort of the videos that have controversy typically perform well. It might not be the best for your brand image, so you have to kind of be careful with that. You don't want to be too controversial to turn people off. But when there's people, commenting back and forth about two sides of a coin, those videos typically go viral. And keep in mind that once you have that viral content, it brings new followers, new eyes to your page. But to answer your question, it did take a while for me to get comfortable and get in the groove of things where my video posts started performing well. I started gaining traction and bringing in new followers.
You're often posting an online video of a crash, for instance, then maybe adding a little bit of commentary or your reaction. Are those videos performing well for you?
I just started doing those recently. There's some issues doing it on TikTok. I'm doing it on Instagram, but on TikTok, there's some issues with them taking down the videos because of like dangerous acts or something like that. I think it's against their content policy. So I'm putting those videos on Instagram and kind of reacting to them. Yeah, I think they perform well. I haven't had one go viral, like in the sense of over 1 million views yet. But they definitely bring brand awareness that I'm a car accident attorney since I'm reacting to a car accident or something of that nature.
Right. You touched on this a little bit, Clay, but how does TikTok sort of compare to Instagram when it comes to lead generation? And are you posting the same content on both platforms?
Generally posting the same content, barring what we just talked about, the crash videos. I would say TikTok is, I would say I wasn't getting as many leads from TikTok as I am Instagram. I found that, and here's the deal, is I don't think that there's any way, and maybe I haven't figured it out, but I don't think you can message anyone directly on TikTok. So if someone messages me, they're messaging me on Instagram after, I've told them to go follow me on Instagram or whatnot. But to answer your question, I find that there's probably better quality leads on Instagram, and you can open up a dialogue just by messaging someone directly.
Are you on any other platforms? Are you posting on Facebook, YouTube?
So I'm on Facebook. I have 1,000 local followers on Facebook, on a Facebook page, and it's the same tag, The Pain Lawyer, and then likewise on YouTube Shorts. Now I just started on YouTube Shorts. An attorney who's doing really well on YouTube, Attorney Tom, reached out to me and told me about, I guess Shorts is now going to be able to be monetized. And so starting next year, if you're a content creator with a certain amount of followers and a certain amount of views, you can actually monetize your Shorts. Now, at the end of the day, I'm a personal injury attorney and not, the content creator, but I mean, that's pretty cool if you can make extra income by posting the exact same videos that
doing what you're already doing.
Instagram, TikTok. And so it takes me 15 minutes in the morning to post my video on TikTok. Then I just copy the caption, the caption and over to Instagram and then YouTube Shorts.
I notice you have a link to a free case evaluation directly from your Instagram profile. Is that popular? Are you getting leads that way?
Yeah, so originally I had a different type of link. I think it was a Linktree link on Instagram. However, I wanted something, it was a two-step process. You had to click on the link and then you had to go in and click on free case evaluation after that. And I felt like that two-step process is as easy as it sounds was actually turning off leads. So I started this last month and I've gotten more cases. And so, take that with what, I guess I don't have that much, time to, as far as statistics of whether that's effective or not, but it's helped this past month.
An easy thing to do, right? Why not?
Yeah. Anyone can create a Jot form. You just go and create a little, lead form. You don't need a website to do it.
And everyone wants to know what their case is worth, right? I mean, that's kind of building to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that helps out. I mean, if people want, a case evaluation and people want it for free. A lot of people don't even know that, personal injury attorneys don't charge for evaluations. I mean, unless you've been familiar with the legal field before or had a prior car accident, you might think an attorney is going to charge you for an initial valuation. Whereas obviously we work on a contingency fee basis. So when people see free case evaluation, they're like, oh, wow, this attorney's going to, talk to me for free. And that's exactly what I do. I mean, anytime someone submits an evaluation form, it sends me an email, and then either myself or the staff will reach out to them.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, Clay, I always like to ask, what would you recommend if a lawyer watching only has time to adopt one, maybe two of your tips?
I think that just creating video content and posting it on those platforms. I mean, if you can just knock out 3 or 4 videos a week, I think it would be great for your growth on social media, and I think it'll start paying off immediately.
And what would you say to those attorneys who say, well, I need leads to come through the door right now, and I don't have time to dedicate to social media?
I mean, I guess I would just say that's kind of short-sighted, but I mean, there's nothing better than free marketing. I mean, so, this is essentially what social media allows us to do. It allows us to build a tribe of people that are always watching you and always looking to you as their attorney, essentially. And if you show up every day in front of your tribe, they're going to call you when they have a legal issue.
Yeah, and it builds that referral network, right? It builds that goodwill, turns into positive online reviews. All of that snowballs, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, Clay, anything else you'd like to add? Any other parting words?
No, I appreciate you having me on the show, and thank you so much.
Clay really laid out a social media roadmap for us. So let's review. 1, educate on everyday law. Multiple guests have made this point. Your videos will perform better if you A, teach viewers about the law, and B, you cover topics that apply in the life of the average viewer, right? So don't limit your social videos to only your specialty. Take a broader approach. That will certainly build your follower count, and then you can sprinkle in those videos in your niche. Number 3, you'll get better. Most of our guests have revealed in a candid moment that early videos pretty much sucked. So assume that yours will too. Just keep shooting. Start with a strong hook, keep your script short and direct, try hard to be helpful, then just watch views, watch shares, and repeat the video types that perform well. Number 3, you can begin very informally, very inexpensively. Clay shoots at home with his wife behind the camera. He knocks out 7 videos in 1 hour on a Saturday. He posts himself, spends nothing on boosting or ads. Number 4, start with Instagram and Facebook. We've heard from several guests that Instagram and Facebook deliver the bulk of their quality leads. TikTok may show your videos to more people, generate more followers, but that additional circulation, it doesn't seem to be resulting in more leads for those social stars that I've interviewed. And number 5, build a network of social media marketers. Your social leads will come from all over the country, right? These are national platforms. So plan on referring out the cases in other states, preferably to attorneys with sizable followings, who will then in turn cross-refer leads they obtain in your state. So much good stuff today. Big thanks to Clay for being here, being so generous, and thanks to all of you for joining. Catch us on the next episode of the Grow with Cara show, happening very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.